Welcome back to another exotic encounter adventure with me, Miss Alexandra at Exotic Encounters. And as you can see by my accessory today, we're going to be talking about snakes. Now, around my neck right now is my ball python, Lemmy, and I love ball pythons. I tell everybody when I go to birthday parties or schools or camps how much I love ball pythons. You know, they do get to be a nice size, about 5 feet long, but they are very docile, gentle snakes. They are the perfect snake for somebody who wants to get a snake that gets big, but they don't have a lot of experience with big snakes. Now, as you can see, she is around my neck and she's not causing any trouble. She's not constricting around my neck, and there is a reason for that. She's been trained. Anybody know, how do you train a snake? How do you train a snake? What do you think? Well, the answer was pretty easy for me. You know, when I get new snakes and I start working with them, if they get too tight around me, I squirt them with water. You know, a lot of the times when we train animals, like if you train a dog and you're training them to sit, when they sit, you give them a cookie, you give them a good reward. That's positive reinforcement. So I did the opposite. I did negative reinforcement when she was doing something I didn't like. Now, as we know, snakes, as they grow, they shed their skin. I happen to have one of the skins right here with me. This is for my boa. It's a big one, but as you can see, and I'm gonna try to come close, you can see all the scales and the designs of that skin. Isn't that cool, you guys? I love that. All right. But what happens to the animal if the snake skin doesn't come off? You know, remember, they shed their skin as they grow. So if they're growing and they have this skin tight around their bodies, that skin is kind of choking their bodies. And Miss Lemmy here was one of my rescue snakes from many years ago. And when I got her, she had a bunch of layers of snake skin on her body. And when I put her into some warm water to soak the skin, because when you put snake skin in water and make it wet, it becomes very soft and very easy to move. So we had put her in water to help get that snake skin off. And unfortunately, it was so tight around her tail that the very tip of her tail had popped off. Poor little baby. But she's a healthy girl now. Now let's see if we can get a little closer. I want you guys to be able to see her. Do you guys see her sticking her tongue out at you guys? She's looking right at you guys. Do you see her? So little Lemmy here sticks out her tongue, not because she has bad manners. No, no, no. I taught her much better than that. Snakes will stick out their tongue because they use their tongues to actually smell. They have little teeny sensors on the tips of their tongues, and it sends messages to their brain that tells them what they're smelling. If there's something that they're smelling that they think is food, something that they smell that they might think is a predator. So that's super duper important. Now, does anybody know what a snake says? I bet some of you know. A snake says "sss." But do you know why a snake will say "sss"? There's a very good reason, and I'm going to give you a hint. If a dog gets mad, you know, or frightened, it might growl. You know, a cat might go, a bird might scream. My duck bobs his head up and down. A rattlesnake will rattle its rattle. But a regular snake will say "sss" to warn off a predator or something that it thinks is a predator. It gives it a warning. Animals always generally give you a warning before they come after you. All right, so she says "sss." Now, she's still considered young. She's still in her kid age because she's only a couple years old. So she still has lots and lots of growing to do. Now, this little girl, if she was in the wild, we probably wouldn't find her, you know, down on the ground. We'd probably find her up in the trees. You know, there's a lot of predators, including larger snakes on the ground, that would want to eat them. So these animals would go up high in the trees. Do you guys like to climb trees and monkey bars? When I was a kid, you could not keep me out of the trees. I loved to climb trees, and I have lots of scars to prove it. But if I tried to climb a tree now, oh my goodness, I don't think I'd be able to do it because I weigh so much more now. You know, so it uses a lot more energy for me to climb a tree, just like the larger snakes for them to climb trees. So the larger snakes, it's easier for them to find prey. Here she comes, down low on the ground. So the little snakes go up in the trees. They can eat lizards, they can eat birds, they can eat rodents. So it's perfect for them to be up in the trees. Now, what do you think she eats? I just gave you some hints. Out of everything that I said they eat in the wild, what do you think is a pet she eats? Do you think it's a bird? Do you think it's eggs? Do you think it's a lizard? Do you think it's a rodent? What do you guys think? So if you're not sure what a rodent is, I'll tell you. A rodent could be a rat or a mouse. So yes, if you guess rodent, that's what we feed her. We actually give her frozen rodents that we warm up for her, and she loves them. She gobbles them right up and she eats them head first. So the last thing that she eats is actually the tail, and it looks like she's sucking up spaghetti, just like that. Now, how many of you guys have brothers and sisters at home? I have an older sister and a younger brother. I am the middle child. You know, and although we do look somewhat, you know, there's certain things like my sister and I, we both have brown hair, we both have brown eyes. My brother and I both are very fair skinned and we have freckles, but you can clearly tell us apart, you know, and you can tell that we sort of look related, but she has a little brother and he looks very different than she does. Do you want to meet him? So let me go get him. Here he comes, guys. So this is Lemmy's little brother named Lou. Lou, say hello to everybody. Isn't Lou adorable, you guys? Now, Lou definitely looks bigger than his big sister, don't you think? I've got them both here. They actually share a house together. I'm going to scoot back so you can see them a little bit better together. So they do share a house together. They do not fight. They actually get along really, really well. But as you can see by their color patterns, they're very, very different, aren't they? I bet you if you guys looked at your brothers and sisters, you could find something that you guys had in common about the way you look, and you find something that are different about the way you look. Now, when you look at these guys, let's think, what do they have in common when you look at them? Do you see anything? They both have yellow, don't they? And they both have brown, right? Now, something that's different is Lemmy's eyes are brown, whereas her brother Lou's eyes are green. Can you see those green eyes? Yeah, he's got beautiful green eyes. So, different, but the same. They are both ball pythons. The other thing that makes them different is he's worth a lot more money because of his colors. He's considered super duper special. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in the wild, the boy animals always have better coloring and cooler patterns than the girls, always. I don't know why it is. Usually it probably has to do with protecting the family and being able to blend in better and scare off predators. So yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed our snake encounter today, and stay tuned because I'm sure the library is going to have plenty more videos for you guys to come from us at Exotic Encounters. And remember, if you guys are interested in any awesome books about animals at the library, even if they're not open right now to the public, you know, you can go online and reserve a book, and you can always call and talk to your librarian, and I bet you he or she can recommend some awesome storybooks about animals, and especially about snakes. So thanks for joining our animal encounter today, and I'll see you next time.